Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Ping. Thanks for sending in letters. We've got a few today. Let's get cracking. The first one comes from Kaijin, I think. I might be spelling that wrong. It says, Ping, you seem to have a good perspective from both treating riders and getting injured as a rider yourself. What is the best first aid kit for both the car and weekend riding? We just ride practice days, so no medics at the track. If not a kit, what stuff? Thanks. So there are some things. I don't know of any kits. I mean, there are kits out there, but I've never seen one in person to know if they're worth a crap or not. So I've actually reached out to a couple of them and they never got back to me. So I'm not going to recommend any of them because I haven't seen them. But here's some things if you want to put something together and either store it in a little bag inside your gear bag or something, just great to have, even to keep in your car. Rubber gloves. Just some good tight-fitting latex gloves in case somebody's bleeding or whatever. You can get in there and help without getting it all over you. A splint. Anytime somebody breaks something, the main thing you can do to help is to try to, get something around there with a cold compress and just get it stabilized. So they make cardboard splints that cut and shape really easily, small and big, multiple sizes. So just get a couple of those. Ace bandages for holding those in place. You can also use duct tape, but ace bandages sort of have multiple applications. A cold pack. Anytime somebody hurts anything, you don't want to put it directly on the skin, but put like a little bit of gauze down and then a cold pack over it. Obviously we want to reduce swelling or minimize it. A sling, which is great if somebody's done a collarbone or something to their extremity on the upper extremity, you can stabilize that. A tourniquet. We're kind of going to this now, EMS, rather than it used to be elevated, apply direct pressure, and then if that's not working, go to a tourniquet. If you've got bleeding that's not controlled now, they want you just to go straight to a tourniquet. So you can find these online, pretty inexpensive tourniquets. Just be sure to write down the time. Take a pen, a Sharpie, and right above where you're tying the tourniquet, write the time so they know how long it's been on. It's important for them. Gauze, get different rolls of gauze. That's super important. Trauma dressings and some kind of tape, whether that's medical tape or duct tape. And then some other things you can keep in there. This is not really injury related, but a lot of times if you're out at some remote track and somebody gets stung by a bee or eats something that they're allergic to, or they're hypoglycemic because they're a diabetic or whatever, Benadryl tablets or liquid Benadryl, and glucose tablets. Super simple thing you can throw in. They last a long time, and I've used these multiple times. Somebody's having an allergic reaction, just get some Benadryl in them, and it'll at least slow everything down so they can get to a hospital. Maybe look at a C-collar or IV start kit. A lot of times at the track, you'll find a medic or a nurse or somebody who's got some EMS training, and they can utilize that stuff. Again, that's maybe going a little far, but throwing it out for you. And then also just gather some information. Information gathering is super helpful to first responding crews. Name, date of birth, and then use an acronym we call HAM. History, allergies, meds. What kind of medical history do you have? Does this guy have a history of heart problems? Is he diabetic? Has he ever had a stroke? Does he have breathing issues? Anything you can get, and if it's for yourself, a lot of times, like Troy Lee Designs has a sticker that goes under their visor on all their helmets, and it's got all that stuff, allergies, blood type, and you can write all that stuff on there. So HAM is history, allergies, meds. What kind of medical history, any allergies to any medications at all, and what medications are you taking? Those are really important as we get into treatment en route to the hospital or at the hospital. Super important to know. So I would say that's a good starting point. I hope that helps. Thanks for the letter. I always enjoy answering these because it does kind of meld my two worlds together. Next one coming from Kevin says, hey Ping, I loved your interview with Johnny Campbell on the Whiskey Throttle Show. Awesome to hear his story and how his faith mixed with his love for riding got him through the hardships of life. I think many of us can relate. Anyway, here's my question for you. Do you think with the trials brands such as GasGas, Sherco, and Beta making their way into the off-road MX world that we could see a video series with retired pros like yourself or other pros in general with a motocross background, pair it with some trial pros like Pat Smage, to do a friendly team competition for charity or just general content? Maybe a track day for lap times and a trials day, and whoever wins gets the money for their charity. Maybe even we we could get Dungy to participate for his charity. Plus, it would go to a great cause. Thanks for taking the question. Kevin, yeah, I think it's a great idea. And I think that it's kind of already happening. When GasGas kicked off over here, Jeff Aaron rides for them. Great dude, super talented trials guy. And he's been inviting media members out to come and do some trial stuff. I have not connected with him yet. It's my bad. I've totally dropped the ball there. Jeff, I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm going to get back to you. I think we're going to see more trial stuff going on just because of the influence from these brands, and I think it's great. And there's, you know, there's definitely it's a skill set that would benefit any moto guy. Better balance and better, you know, control. I mean, of course it's better. Roger DeCoster was a trials champion. Did you know that? In his off time. Listen to his Whiskey Throttle show. It's in there. Thank you, Kevin, for the question. I really appreciate it. We will try to do our best here at Vital to get some trials content out for you, okay? Last one. John Herzog says, hey, Ping, was wondering if we could get a personal tour of all your badass custom painted helmets. I appreciate the time and dedication of the sport. Cheers. Okay, I can do a quick tour, but actually I think what I'm going to do, sorry, we're going to go mobile here, but I think what we're going to do is maybe do this on Instagram on my Whiskey Throttle Show page. We'll go through each of these one by one, but here you can see this is my Pro Circuit helmets all lined up here. So 97, 95, and then this was 96. This one is maybe my favorite, one of my favorite ones Troy ever painted. Very cool helmet. And that's all I've got in my side of the garage. The rest are over here. I keep them on this side. So here's all my Red Bull helmets from 07, 8, and 9. Got a X Games bronze medal in that one in the corner. Not so good with the results with the other ones. And then I wore this one the year I rode for Plano Honda for a summer of 2002. Scott Sheik was my team manager. That was a lot of fun. Day in the Dirt helmet. I don't even know what that one was for. This was a Supermoto helmet that I broke my arm in. You can see the visor's all smashed up. Another Day in the Dirt helmet. This was the very first SE4 that I got. Pretty cool. I come over here. We'll take you to this side. Moving quick here. So I'll pull all these down on and go through them on the Whiskey Throttle Show page, kind of one at a time, and go into a little more detail about what's unique about each of them. I don't know if you guys remember Moto Brew, but that was a pretty cool company that I worked with. Yeah, that was a cool helmet. Another Day in the Dirt one. This was FMF Honda, 1998. Only time I ever wore a Rye. More Supermoto helmets there from my Supermoto days. There's a Mini Moto helmet. I won that with Chad Pedersen and Denny Stevenson. We won the team race at the Mini Moto Supercross. This guy from 2000, I recognize that guy. And this has a cool story. That is the helmet that Trip Carlisle wore in Supercross the movie. He had to borrow my helmet so that when I was doing the stunt riding, it looked like, you know, continuity. Moto World Suzuki. That was a cool helmet. This is actually one painted by a company called Rimfire. It was 1999. Bill's Pipes. Primal Impulse Suzuki. They already had a guy lined up to paint them. Factory KTM. These two. Those are two of maybe my favorite helmets. Just very, very cool looking. I don't know what that one's from. This is from 01. Factory KTM. So anyway, that's it, man. That's the whole kit. I'll pull each one of them down. So if you don't follow us over at Whiskey Throttle Show, check that Instagram page out, and I'll pull each one of these down. Ooh, you know what? Let me show you this. Can't talk too much about it, but this is the new SE5. Ew. See that carbon laced in there? Lots of cool features on this guy. The launch is really not till January, but there's a little peek. She's awesome. So anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you tuning in for another @Ping. See you next week.